because I just don't think James Gunn is the right person.
No.
Just based on what we've seen so far. I mean, just like the flying scene. Harsh Critics didn't do that flying scene. That was somebody from Forbes magazine who happened to be a YouTuber and decided to write an article about it. So people are just not feeling that stuff, man. I mean, but, you know, I could be proven wrong. You know, July 11th may prove us wrong, you know, but I'm more like keep the wallets closed until we get what we want.
And I think that's already caught on because I see a lot of people starting to use that wallets closed. It's not just applying to this whole Snyderverse movement. You know where else I'm starting to see it? And it's crazy. I'm starting to see that now in the Transformers community because I'm huge Transformers fan.
Yeah.
And people are now doing the same thing for Hasbro because Hasbro's pulling a page, copy and paste from DC. Like, they're literally giving up on their franchise. And I'm like, yo, you guys had Michael Bay. Y'all did him dirty the same way that WB did dirty to Zack Snyder. They had quality during those years. You go back and revisit that timeline from, like, what was it, like 2013 all the way to, like, what was it recently, the 2019?
The hype
Cinema,
was there, man.
Everything with movies were like, people were going to the theaters multiple times. Like, I'm telling you this and I'm getting chills. I went to go see Transformers. I don't even remember how many times. I'm like, I got to go see it again. You get what I'm saying? Same
Which
thing
one you talking about? The first one?
Yeah, like the live action ones when Michael Bay was there. All of them. I would always see them multiple times just because that's how good they were. The action, like the explosions, the music. It's like, what? Like, it just captures your imagination. After that, it hasn't been the same. And again, the numbers don't lie. Look at how every time a new movie of Transformers comes out, it goes down. And the same thing with WB. The same thing with WB. After Zack Snyder with Aquaman, the first one, is when things just went downhill. And they just keep going down and down. So I'm convinced as a fan, as, you know, part of the community, James Gunn is not going to do anything. He didn't do nothing with the Suicide Squad. He didn't. That was the beginning of his career with DC. It did bad. He disrespected each and every one of us with what he did with that Justice League scene. He didn't have Ben Affleck's silhouette there. He didn't have Ray Fisher. All right, so what's the deal? And then he does all these jokes. I'm like, to me, I'm like, that's an insult. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, why should I even support this new reboot and what they're doing? Again, the wallets closed come into play.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you are the consumer, though. And that's the thing that I keep pushing. You are the consumer. You have the power. And that's what a lot of people, I guess a lot of people get scared of that, but you have the power to determine, you know. Have you ever heard the cereal Honeycombs?
Yeah.
Honeycombs. So check this out. Back in probably like during the pandemic, Honeycombs, they had changed the recipe. So it wasn't the original Honeycombs. They had changed the recipe into like this butter type honey. And they did it for almost a year. And people was like, if you guys don't go back to the original recipe, we're not gonna purchase Honeycombs anymore. And it took Honeycombs probably like a year and a half to go back to the original recipe. And that was because the consumer said, no, I don't, this is not what I want. They wanted the original recipe, and that's why the original recipe is still going today, because they did try to change. And you can look this up too. It's not like I'm just making shit up. But yeah, they end up going back to the original recipe because that's what the people got used to. You know, that's what they wanted, you know. But they did try. They took like a loss. It was like $1 billion. They lost a lot of money trying to promote this new recipe or whatever, but a lot of people didn't want it. They said, no, we want the old stuff. And they boycotted, they stopped buying it, and the company started losing money. And probably like 6 months later that they relaunched the old recipe, and for like the first 2 quarters of the year, they had like this they had this title on the box saying, oh, we're back again or something, like we never left or something like that. So that's the power of the consumer that I'm trying to get everybody to understand. Like, you guys have power. Like, if you want Zack Snyder's back, then keep the wallets closed July 11th. Because, like I said, you making it, you supporting it, and it goes to $1 billion. That's it. That's the mediocre universe. That's James Gunn, DCU.